Are you looking to upgrade your old computer? Then this is the video for you. Hey guys, so as you're aware, I'm just starting out on my YouTube journey. Over the next couple of months, I plan on ramping up the number of videos I'll be producing. And to do this, I really needed to upgrade my computer. Before we get started, I'll grab myself a coffee. It's a great time for you to click that like and subscribe button. The great thing about computers are really easy to work on. They're all made up of the same 8 components, and it's just a matter of which component you choose as to which computer you build. So you start off with your PC case. A lot of this is aesthetics, but you can also go for good airflow on it. It's quite obvious which ones have the good airflow. They're the ones with the big holes in the side. You also then have to choose a power supply. I recommend a power supply of over 750 watts, mainly just because it will then allow you to increase the size or the capacity of your computer in the future. 2 biggest components, you could say, are your motherboard and your CPU. So realistically, these go hand in hand because depending on which CPU you get, depends on which motherboard you're actually going to end up choosing. You have 2 main choices of CPU, they're AMD and Intel. You've got your GPU, which is effectively your graphics card. Now I have an overpowered graphics card for the build I'm doing because I used to mine cryptocurrency, and as a result of that I've got a 2080 Ti. For a basic standard editing suite, you could probably get away with a 1060 Ti or a 1060, which would be half the price. You also then got a cooler for your CPU. Most CPUs will come with a stock cooler, but I've upgraded mine, mainly just because I like the look of it, but at the same time, it will reduce the temperature of your CPU and increase the lifespan of your CPU, but it's not really something that you need to worry about. And then you've got your storage. So this is effectively where you're going to save all of your documents, all of your files, all of your videos to. Mainly, it's a hard drive, but nowadays you've gone to a solid state drive and an M.2 drive. Which of these you choose, again, is up to you. Your hard drive is probably the slowest, but cheapest. And then your M.2 drive is a much faster drive, but a little bit more expensive. On top of all of these, then you have your accessories. You've got your monitor, your keyboard, and your mouse. I'm using an old TV as my monitor, for example, but it's definitely something I might look to upgrade in the future. There's a great website out there, it's PC Part Picker. I'll put a link down below. Effectively, you can put in your current parts, so if you already have a CPU that you're happy with, you can put that in, and then it will actually give you the options you have for which motherboard you can upgrade to, which RAM goes with that motherboard, etc. There's a couple of screenshots on the screen now so you can see how it works. So what parts will I be upgrading? I'll be upgrading my CPU, my motherboard, my cooler, my RAM, and my storage. Okay, so let's get started. So step 1 is to remove all cables from your current components. It's quite straightforward. All you have to do is gently remove all the cables. All cables unclip in the same way. I always use the box to build these on because there's a nice solid base and you've got the foam that comes with your motherboard there to protect it. You put your CPU into your motherboard. It only goes in one way, but if you have to force this, you're doing it wrong, so make sure that it slots in and is nice and secure. Then it's time for the cooler. So stock coolers are quite simple, however with this Noctua cooler, it comes with a bracket. Then I'd place my RAM. So RAM is quite a tricky one to get in. You've got to make sure you click in both sides. Make sure the lever's out when you go to put your RAM in. Once you've done this, push firmly on both sides and you'll hear a click as the lever goes back in. At this point then I would put the motherboard into the case. It only goes in one way, all the mounts will already be in place and just simply screw it in with the little screws. Once your motherboard is in the case, you then simply insert your graphics card. It's quite a fiddly job, but just make sure you're gentle with it, and again, make sure the little lever is flicked back before you insert your graphics card. Hard drive is quite simple, it goes into a case, you slide the case into the computer, and then just plug it in at the back. Now once you've done this, The power supply is already installed in my case, but you need to put your power supply in and then plug the cables into the various different ports on your motherboard and devices. The good thing with this is it's actually quite straightforward in terms of each socket is designed for a cable, so you can't go wrong. Simply find a cable that looks like the socket and plug it in. And now that all the components are installed, you simply put the back case cover on, the front case cover on, and turn it on. If this is a new computer build and you've never installed an operating system before, you'll need to install an operating system before this. There's plenty of different YouTube videos out there showing you how to do that. So let's see the results then, shall we? So before starting this, I ran some benchmarks with my original system.
So as you can see in the bottom two screens, on the left is before and on the right is after the upgrades. It now only takes half the amount of time to render a video as it did before. Along the top you can see I've set a benchmark running. And again at the end of this you can see really how much quicker the new computer is. So I hope you found this video useful and you tune in again soon.